Hello, hello, my dear beloved sisters. So I am beaming in today into our temple for a heart check-in after our beautiful and potent Lion's Gate activation. And also, as promised, to give you a little more details about our Blood Mysteries Temple and the program that we're offering through the temple for you to step deeper into relationship with your feminine magic and wisdom and power. So, just asking you for a moment to settle into your heart and your womb and to feel into all that has shifted since Sunday. We are still within the Lion's Gate itself, so there is still a huge amount of energy streaming through us, still under this influence of the new moon in Leo. So, just taking this time, either because you're watching live or you're watching this in a little bit, I'd love to hear what's been moving through you since we gathered Sunday. What is in your awareness? What's been activated? What are you reclaiming? What are you seeding on this new moon? So feel free to post in the comments where you are, how you're feeling, and what is changing within you. I know I'm still buzzing from our gate, and there is still this sense of a deep cellular shifting happening within my being. This being able to hold more light within my cells and within my being, and the sensation of this new dream, this new weave that is emerging through us collectively onto the planetary field. I also want to share a little bit more about our Blood Mysteries Temple and this beautiful offering that I have lovingly crafted for you, which is a 7-week journey into the Blood Mysteries and into reclaiming sacred menstruation. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that this program, this magical journey and mythic activation, is for all women in all stages in life. So it doesn't matter what your bleeding status is, okay? The core of this is to immerse you in the frequency of the blood mysteries, because though it's been equated with menstrual rights, because that's the most kind of visible and tangible aspect of this lineage, it's much vaster than that. And it's ultimately a thread that connects you into Mother, to nurturance, to love and life, and how it flows through each and every one of us and how it connects us together. So this is an experiential alchemical immersion into the frequency of our moon blood, as also this vaster ocean that condenses into matter through us. So in this 7-week journey, what we'll be having is, like, the nuts and bolts of it is, it's a home study program. So this means that every Monday, when we start the next Monday, you will be receiving through email into your inbox an email giving you access to our mothership, and every week you will receive access to another module, which includes at least 3 videos, an audio meditation activation, and a womb journal for you to deepen with the work that arises from all this material, right? So there's an introduction module that orients you into what this lineage is, where it comes from, how it arose, and why it's so important at this particular time, not only individually but collectively, why it's powerful medicine for our times. And then there are another 4 modules. We begin with releasing and remembering. So within our womb space and within our blood, this is where we hold the majority, like a vast amount of wounding, both personal and collective. So this first stage is about this dual movement of really remembering what our moon blood actually is at its essence, its frequency, the truth of her, the truth of our womb, the truth of our womanhood, right? And at the same time releasing the myriad of programs, woundings, belief systems, limiting patterns, all that we've inherited, lived throughout our life and inherited through our lineage and through the collective. So there is a deep cleansing and clearing and releasing as we remember simultaneously the truth that our womb is a place that holds unity and life and love, and that our moon blood holds this. It's a physical manifestation of mother's life and love, and holds codes of life and wisdom and remembrance and connection to the mystery directly, right? So that's module 1. And then the second week we move into activating and reclaiming. And here this is a really fun module because we dive into what our blood our moon blood actually holds biologically, what science has discovered, as well as all the rich myth and story and lore around moon blood and moon rites, right, and menstrual rites, all the way through to wise woman. And again, this whole week is all about reclaiming the power, the magic, the wisdom that literally flows through you, dear sister. And then we move on to the following module, which is attuning and harmonizing. So this is diving us into and exploring how our body cycles and the deep wisdom in that cycling, and how that resonates with the moon, and how to work with these cycles in a way that's organic and easeful and harmonious and natural, in the deep knowing that they don't always align like our mind would like us to. So it's even here we're dismantling stories about how we're supposed to bleed, when we're supposed to bleed, and what that actually means. Throughout this whole journey, there's a deep activation of the truth that lies and the wisdom that lies within your own body. Right? It's even as we do all this, there's a deep reclaiming of your direct accessing to wisdom through you, and remembering that truth through your cells, not because I'm telling you or anybody else is telling you. This is not about giving you more information or telling you this is the right way to bleed or the right way to practice or the right way to be a woman. This is all about peeling all that away so you can come back to the wholeness and the wisdom that is already within you, and you know how to do this. Right? We all do. Our blood mysteries working through our bodies with the mystery, with mother, with life, is encoded within us. This journey is not about giving you more information. It's about creating a container where you can dismantle all that keeps you from that, right? And so that you can step into that power, into that magic, into that wisdom in a way that is deeply held, right? And in this remembrance that we're here to do it together, because it's another piece. This is also part of the wounding we've been carrying of this. We got to do it alone. Blood mystery rites, and through all the seasons of womanhood, have always been held in sisterhood, because the feminine is a collective. It is a community. Right? We do not work in singularity. We work in unity. And what's needed on the planet right now is that. So it's not for any one of us to do alone. But there's a part of us that's going to want to say that. Right? I can remember alone. I can do this alone. It's already inside of me. And yes, that's true. But even for myself, when I was receiving this lineage and the activations of bringing this sacred technology that is ancient from the beginning of time, but into the world now as it wants to manifest for our modern day times, I was also held by a sisterhood, a cohesive and tight sisterhood that created a container so that I could step into that, right? So That's module 3, attuning and harmonizing with your own feminine cycle, your own feminine rhythm, the wisdom encoded within her, and the larger lunar cycle. And one of the beautiful things that starts to happen here, sisters, just giving you sneak peeks of the transformation you can expect, right? Once we tap into our body's wisdom, she comes off of kind of automatic mode and begins to naturally align with larger cycles of moon and stars and constellations and large events, both collectively, astrologically, galactically, and within our personal life. So then she becomes this active wisdom ally working with us to serve our unfolding and the unfolding of life, because we are all connected. So that's module 3. Then we move on to module 4, which is all about anchoring and grounding. So this is where throughout all this time where we've been deeply diving into the womb, releasing deep wounding, deep patterns of constriction and shame and less than and invisibility and powerlessness of the feminine, right? Simply for being in the feminine body, releasing the deep fear, because there's another thing that comes up very, very deeply and clearly is the fear of being in feminine body and what that means, the fear of actually stepping into blood mystery rites, right? This is something that was heavily punished and tabooed because it is so powerful, right? So there is a lot of peeling away of deeply rooted in our DNA gunk, because that's the only word for it, right? So as we've done all this and at the same time remembered and really felt in our bodies, just like we did in the activation, this deep connection to mother, to life, to love through us, through the mystery, through our own bodies, through the magic that we actually are, then we receive all the tools. You receive all the tools to ground this in practice, because ultimately we are all here in body, in the 3D world, in matter, mother, because this is where the work is. And that is what makes the blood mystery so powerful, that for such a large part of our life, we actually have a tangible medicine, right? A tangible liquid that we can touch and manipulate and imbue and use in ritual to anchor all the energetics that are behind it into matter, into our bodies, into life. So this is where we explore everything, like the whole array, right, of blood and mystery rites within the menstruating years, okay, that you can do. And the focus here is to give you the energetic underpinnings, right? This is about supporting you in making that connection within yourself, right? And so that once you have that connection, once you can commune with your own blood, and just like when you do medicine work with ayahuasca or mushrooms or any of the other iboga or peyote or any of the other beautiful medicines that are on the planet, it is the medicine that's the teacher, right? This is exactly the same thing. Your moon blood is sorry, my hair is really wet. Your moon blood is your teacher. So this whole journey is about helping you, midwifing you into renewing that connection, so then you can receive directly from the medicine in your own body. So then with all the understanding, again, of the energetic underpinnings and your own connection into your blood and the mystery, you can then create rites and rituals that support you in your unique life, in your unique family structure, in your unique part of the world, right? This is not a one-size-fits-all. This is not a one standard protocol. This is about empowering you into stepping into co-creation with the magic that flows through you. Now, of course, with that comes concrete examples. I will share the things that I do just as a starting point, as something to grab onto as you explore, right? And along with the energetic underpinnings and some examples and structures for you to begin a practice and begin to anchor all of this, of that which you are awakening to and reclaiming and exploring. There is also the very real troubleshooting and exploration of what happens when we try to step into this, right? Because there's a whole array of things that arise not only from the spiritual level and the mind and the emotions that get triggered and activated, there's also the practicality of it. Well, how do I actually navigate this? So within this whole journey, you also receive that. Again, everything from, finding the right menstrual products that are healthy and that will support your practice and how to store that moon blood so you can enter into menstrual rights. For those, once we reach module 4, there's also how to navigate, like how do you navigate actually in integrating this into your life? What if you have a roommate? What if you have a partner? Or you have children? How do you actually step into the world, starting first in the intimacy of your own home, and then little by little expanding that into a larger circle, right? Till eventually the vision is to have, women that can come and practice live together, where we can offer, and I already do this, where we can offer our moon blood into the ocean, offer our moon blood into the earth. That's just 2 examples of rites we have done within our Blood Mysteries Temple with the sisters that have already stepped in. We've done collective sangreal rites. You witness a kind of tiny taste of just an anointing with our moon blood. There's power that happens when we can come together. And again, practice together, dive into the mystery together. We amplify each other and new things emerge. So you get everything you need in that 4th module to actually practice menstrual rights. From the nuts and bolts and the practicality and navigating, and what if I'm at work, and what if I'm traveling, like all those little things, right? And that tend to trip us up, but when we're able to share, we realize it's really quite simple. This whole journey, all of this is deeply powerful, but the message is incredibly simple, and stepping into this can be easeful and fun and magical, and it can and will, if you are willing, integrate seamlessly into your life without great outer changes or demands or requirements. Okay, the way of the feminine is one of ease and grace and flow and what is natural and organic, just unfolding and unfurling through you. So that is the frequency throughout this whole journey as well, of empowering and unleashing that within you, right? So that accounts for, and then we have a Wise Woman module. Now, the Wise Women module is created specifically for our women and sisters that are either transitioning or are already in their Wise Woman crone years and no longer bleeding. And this is also a really powerful module, both for the women that are already in the season of life, and for all of us to begin to shift the myth, the illusion we've been in around who Wise Woman actually is and what it means to step in through this threshold, this birthing into menopause, right? So this module is all about and is activated for all of you from the beginning of the journey. So Wise Women are encouraged to start there, at least with the first video, so you get a guiding of how to use all this material, all these modules from the perspective of Wise Woman, right? And on top of that, there is material specially for you of how to step into your place within the Blood Mysteries from this very unique place within our cycle of life, right? And seen as the pinnacle of womanly power, right? There is a reason why our moon blood was also called wise blood, right? And wise women hold that wise blood within them so that they walk and breathe that power simply through their presence, through their bones. So there's a lot of remembering, right, of who Wise Woman actually is and who she needs to be in the world. And it all has to do with your moon blood, because that is still within you, no matter what your age is. She might not be flowing externally, but she is in there, and she is ripe and rich and abundant with power that is just waiting for you to remember, so that you can co-create and navigate life and the new earth together. So you receive that and an activation so that you can reclaim your unique key to the mystery. So there is something very special for Wise Women. If that is something that, if that's where you are in life, please know that you have a very special place within the temple. We have wise women within the temple. You are cherished, you are needed, and you are also needed because you're paving the way, right, for all of us to step into this new way of being powerful, wise, magical, alive, wise women. Okay, so we have that. And on top of that, because I want you to be richly supported, because this is deep work. It's beautiful, it's rich, it's magical, and yet womb work, for anyone that has dipped their toes into womb work, again, this is where so much of our shadow and our wounding, both individually and collectively, lies. This is not for the faint of heart, right? So on top of all this that you can do on your own time, in your own way, right? Throughout each week, right, we will have 3 live calls. We will have an opening ceremony together to create our container and to just connect our hearts and wounds and souls as we dive into this together, right? We will have a mid-journey live heart check-in and Q&A so that we can come together and see all that's been moving, answer any questions, and that you can truly feel supported in your journey. And then we will have a closing ceremony and a final Q&A. And throughout all of this, there is a private Facebook group that is our Blood Mysteries Temple. So this is kind of the in the web where we gather, since we are all over the world. We have sisters from all over the world within the temple. This allows us to gather and come together and again share our journeys, share our hearts, share our ceremonies, share our rituals, share our experiences and our prayers, and amplify and support each other as we anchor this frequency wherever we are on the planet, right? And begin to spread this new old remembrance that our bodies and blood are sacred, that the mother, the mystery life flows through us, that that we are here to receive and birth a new earth through us and anchor that into the planet. So all of that, right, is what you receive when you step in through these gates, dear sisters. And it is a tight-knit, beautiful, loving community of sisters committed to embodying this level of love and devotion and commitment to life and love and to our beloved planet. Okay, so I feel like I've covered this pretty cohesively. I'm going to leave here again the link so that you can review all that is covered in the program, what your journey will be like. If you have any questions, please simply put them in the chat below in the comments, and I would be happy to answer them and address them for you. So I am just holding the doors of the temple open, dear sisters, welcoming you in. For all of you that feel called, right? This is a beautiful, magical path. We cannot step into Mother's cauldron, into her life blood that has created the universe and the galaxies, without being deeply, deeply transformed and awakened. And the beauty is that this whole lineage is through these principles, these of trust and surrender and organic flow and unfolding. It is a stepping out of the struggle and the striving and the efforting into the truth that already flows through you, right? And it is deep, it is catalyzing, and it is magical, and there is nothing like it. So holding the gates open, welcoming you in with open arms to all of you who are called. And please reach out if you have any questions. We'll continue to talk about the beauty of this lineage throughout this week, and inviting also all of our sisters that have already been in the temple for a while to pop in and share your own testimonials and stories as we celebrate 1 year of the temple together. I know we've done this within the temple as well, but it would be lovely to share these stories with our wider group of sisters so that they can get, a wider view of what is possible when we say yes to the magic that flows within us. So that's it, loves. All my love, many blessings, and I hope to see you inside.